Coming up on Arizona Cat's Eye.
Chaos in the streets of University Boulevard.
A big change for U of A winter graduates.
Spring Fling makes its way back to campus after 15 years.
And how about a trip to outer space? One Tucson company says it's just a matter of time. All this and more. How about a trip to outer space? One Tucson company. How this will impact spring graduates. Welcome to Arizona Cat's Eye. I'm Max Efren.
And I'm Christy Smith. Arizona Cat's Eye is University of Arizona School of Journalism news broadcast.
We bring you student-produced stories from the University and Southern Arizona. Fans were caught up in the excitement of the Arizona men's basketball trip to the Elite Eight. Arizona lost its chance at the Final Four in a one-point overtime loss to Wisconsin. After the game, Arizona fans took to the streets, impacting local business.
We saw cops just lining up and trying to push back students. In Gentle Ben's, everyone was coming out of the restaurant, trying to see what was happening, and it was a little bit chaotic over there.
After the UA basketball lost in the Elite Eight game, students swarmed to University Boulevard. Businesses like Gentle Ben's say they were affected by the riots. Gentle Ben's owner Dennis Arnold says that during the riots, he was concerned for the safety of his customers.
So we tried getting them all the way back inside and push them out the back door because there's just gas everywhere in the air at that point. And we're like, get back inside. My doormen are bleeding from the nose, from the gas.
After the game, TPD closed off University Boulevard.
You keep that amount of people, anywhere close to 1,000 people on that small street, and that's when the damage starts happening to businesses. And it's unfortunate if we had to close down that street for a little while, but the damage would have been a whole lot worse.
Similar riots happened in 1997 and 2001. Police say they took many safety measures to prevent riots from happening again. However, TPD has had 3 complaints, all of which are under internal investigation. For Arizona Cat's Eye, I'm Jacqueline Abad.
The investigation continues after a U of A student fell to his death. Police say 19-year-old freshman Michael Anderson was climbing a cooler tower of the La Paz dorm when he slipped and fell. Anderson was with a friend when the incident happened, and the friend was the one who called 911. University Police and Tucson Fire Department said Anderson died at the scene. You can see a makeshift memorial that the students put up to honor Anderson. Police are working to retrace Anderson's last few hours. They have not determined if drugs or alcohol were a factor. The California native was a member of the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity, also known as Fiji. This was the second death in the fraternity in the last 3 years.
It's been called the mother of all distractions, a threat to everyone on the road, texting and driving behind the wheel. But in some parts of Arizona, it is still not against the law.
Some people say that it's just we don't want to take away people's freedom or liberty to be able to do what they want to do, no matter how stupid.
It's really important that we just get with the rest of the country. If you're texting and driving, you're 23 times more likely to be involved in a crash.
SB 1147, the most recent texting bill, was introduced in January, and months later, still no action. Lawmakers say they've asked the Department of Public Safety to cite distracted drivers using laws already on the books.
A report by the Federal Highway Administration found that marked crosswalks are actually more dangerous than unmarked crossings. Arizona Cat's Eye reporter Allie Myers is here with the story. Allie.
Christy, the study shows marked crosswalks on roads with multiple lanes had the highest amount of pedestrian accidents. More lanes means more traffic, but experts say many pedestrians are distracted when crossing the street.
Just because you're in a crosswalk, that doesn't guarantee you're safe.
Yesterday it might have been somebody you don't know, tomorrow it could be a family member.
Tucson Department of Transportation pedestrian coordinator Ann Shineka said the study shows why everyone should be aware while in a crosswalk. The data was collected from over 400 intersections. There were a total of 181 pedestrian crashes in marked crosswalks and 41 in unmarked crosswalks. Valerie Vineyard with the Pedestrian Advisory Committee says most accidents happen because people think they're safe while in a crosswalk and aren't fully paying attention.
If you're a pedestrian, you shouldn't be on your headphones, you shouldn't be on your phone.
In marked crosswalks without streetlights like this, the study showed that pedestrians are 2 to 3 times more likely to be hit by a car.
University of Arizona freshman Debbie Lee says she feels safer in marked crosswalks.
Something like this, because there aren't that many cars going by.
The Pedestrian Advisory Committee and TDOT says you should always walk to the nearest intersection when crossing the street. For Arizona Cat's Eye, I'm Allie Myers.
Pima County is home to 27% of Arizona's homeless population. You can see many homeless camped out at one downtown park. Tucson police say they're paying special attention to illegal activities at 20 de Agosto Park near the courthouse.
So yeah, right now we're seeing an increase in our homeless population, which is leading to an increase in drug use here at the park.
Captain Jim Webb says his downtown patrol unit spot checks the park several times a day.
Prescription pill drop boxes are helping Tucsonans get rid of their unused drugs. The most reported abuse of prescription medication? Kids raiding their parents' medicine cabinets. Officials say this is the first step to avoid drug addiction for people of all ages. Since October, police have collected more than 300 pounds of disposed prescription medication. These drop boxes are at each of the 5 Tucson police stations.
A DUI can change a person's life, especially in a state like Arizona where the criminal offense can't be erased. I met with one young woman who is telling her story.
I'm mostly a terrible person because I got a DUI.
Amanda Hurley essentially walked out of college into jail.
I graduated from U of A on, I believe it was the 20th of December, and I went to jail on the 21st.
She had never been pulled over before, so of course, it wasn't something she ever really expected.
Before I got a DUI, I thought like, oh, drunks get DUIs, you know?
But she has found a way to cope with the harsh reality.
It's the single most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. So that's why I joke about it now.
She's been doing stand-up comedy for about 3 years, and now, since her DUI in September, she often opens her comedy act talking about her experience getting the criminal misdemeanor. Hurley isn't alone, however. Law officials say that young adults make up the mass majority of DUI offenses.
What I see a lot of is I see college students who have a low alcohol concentration and yet a higher level of impairment. That's because they haven't been drinking hard for 30 years and they're not as tolerant to the effects.
Aside from the nearly $8,000 Hurley has spent during the whole legal process so far, what does something like this mean for young adults such as Hurley going fresh into the job market?
Employers are always going to be looking for minimized risk. If you come to us, what's the risk going to be? Either to our clientele, our business, your ability to do your job.
Ignoring the criminal offense when applying for jobs, however, is not the solution.
That's probably not the first thing you want to share with someone, but it certainly isn't something the last. You want to be prepared with your story and how you're not going to be a risk to them.
No matter what, though, Hurley plans to continue joking about her DUI, especially since it carries with it a message.
Yeah, I'm joking, but I also maybe think people might think twice before driving if they think about the cavity search.
Which can happen if you go to jail, even if only for 1 day, oftentimes the minimum required for a DUI offense.
A big moment for Arizona winter graduates. Canceled? We'll tell you why.
And the Tucson Convention Center undergoing major renovations. How this will impact spring graduation.
All right, let's try that again. Down on the floor. 3, 2, 1. At the Arizona State Capitol, a lot of people here outraged over the passage of this bill.
$22 million project will go towards improvements to the Pima Animal Care Center.
Breezo Downs is considered to be the birthplace of quarter horse racing.
Was simply the location of Keno Stadium.
It's currently in its testing phase, but it's still important to drive with caution. People throughout the community come together to express their creativity through chalk.
Officials would like to see a new member of the Reed Park Zoo family.
Are getting their hands dirty, giving back to the community, and partnering with Habitat for Humanity.
Almost a year to bring the program to the U of A, Warren says they've been receiving positive feedback from students.
For Arizona Cat's Eye, for Arizona Cat's Eye,
for Arizona Cat's Eye,
we are Arizona!
Some soon-to-be graduates upset over the U of A's decision to cancel winter commencement.
I think it's kind of disappointing on the college.
U of A is now the only university in the state to have just one commencement a year. In March, the university made the decision to align itself more with other Pac-12 colleges. Officials say the decision was not based on money.
It wasn't about resources. It was about the environment we wanted to create at the U of A and how we wanted to celebrate students.
U of A officials say there will still be individual college ceremonies in the winter, and winter graduates can participate in the spring commencement.
Some colleges host their graduation convocations in May at the Tucson Convention Center, and a major renovation project downtown isn't stopping the action. Arizona Cat's Eye reporter Jacqueline Abad has the story.
Throughout the year, the Tucson Convention Center hosts many events.
I come here for the events like the gem show, and I've come here for some big shows like Walking with the Dinosaurs.
Last June, Rio Nuevo approved $7.8 million to renovate the arena, replace old seats, bathrooms, lights, and concession stands.
A lot of promoters will not use this arena. They actually pass over Tucson now for other cities. So we want to get back on the map. That's a desirable venue.
Fletcher hopes the newly renovated TCC will bring more attractions to Tucson. Rio Nuevo and the city of Tucson have partnered together to raise about $20 million. Construction here at the Tucson Convention Center has already started in its first phase. The project management team says all events will not be interrupted by the renovations. Construction workers will be working 3 shifts in between events. Tucson City Council member Steve Kozachik says the stakeholders, TCC, and general contractors are working to make sure everything is timed correctly, so events are not negatively impacted by the construction.
It's important because if you're going into a facility and you're buying a ticket, you want to be able to walk in there and feel comfortable and feel like you're being treated well and you're in a quality place. That's what we're taking care of first. TCC
will have a new look and management by this upcoming Christmas. For Arizona Cat's Eye, I'm Jacqueline Abad.
Spring Fling looked a little different this year. After 15 years of being at Relido Park, it has returned to the University of Arizona campus, moving the largest student-run carnival in the nation back to its original location, just in time for the event's 40th anniversary.
It's like more of a central location, and just having on campus makes it feel like more of a U of A event versus like a Tucson event. So it's good for the students and also the clubs involved in it.
On average, Spring Fling attracts 25,000 people. The University of Arizona's Campus Health started offering a new program this year called Stress Busters. Students can get a free 5-minute back rub. Volunteers are trained to relieve stress through 20 different back rub techniques. The U of A isn't the only college doing this. Stress Busters is available at 15 schools across the country, including Northern Arizona University and Flagstaff. Funding for this program comes from a Campus Health grant that aims to improve students' mental health.
Mental illness. It's a topic many people aren't comfortable talking about. But one national nonprofit found that 25% of Americans suffer from it. Arizona Cat's Eye reporter Sarina Nafarate talked to people diagnosed with mental illness.
Scott Whitley and Michael Medrano don't have much in common, but both of them have been diagnosed with a mental disorder.
I like to say that I live with it, I don't suffer.
And they are not alone. According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, 1 in 4 Americans experience a mental disorder, a number that bears the question, why aren't more people talking about it?
When you hear that your loved one has a mental illness or your neighbor has a mental illness, people don't come over with casseroles.
He says that the stigma often makes it a taboo topic that can discourage people to seek much needed treatment.
I would not be speaking to you today if I did not go to receive treatment.
Clark Roman says that receiving the appropriate care is crucial.
The outcomes are better than the best treatments for heart disease or lung disease. It works.
Education and awareness is crucial when it comes to understanding mental illness, and the University of Arizona Club is doing what it can to spread the message.
We believe what causes the stigma is ignorance.
UA Active Minds wants to change the conversation about mental health.
What we're trying to do is have more people talk about it and understand what mental health actually is and make people more comfortable about it.
Club advisor Leanne Hamilton says that mental disorder should be seen like any other illness.
You would talk to somebody if your blood sugar was out of whack. Would you talk to somebody if your, chemicals in your brain were out of whack a little bit?
Medrano and Whitley say the stigma has got to go to make a difference.
We need to get over ourselves and realize that everyone is at risk and it's okay.
For Arizona Cat's Eye, I'm Sarina Navarrete.
A set of education standards aimed at preparing students for college and their future careers have been controversial in the state. 45 states, including Arizona, have adopted Common Core, now renamed the Arizona College and Career Ready Standards. Teachers who support the measure say the standards further nationalize the K-12 system.
There's so much controversy going on with Common Core, and I understand that. In Arizona's case, I don't think we could do it better on our own. I think we showed that historically. We're generally in the bottom of any type of ranking that there is.
But other teachers say they have mixed feelings.
It's not for everyone because you have those students who have trouble articulating their ideas.
Criticism has caused some Arizona lawmakers to try and eliminate the program, but those attempts have been unsuccessful.
For years, Barbie has been slammed by critics for promoting an unhealthy body image and a false standard of beauty for young girls. A new doll may be pushing the plastic queen off the shelves. Her name is Lamalee. Lamalee was created to show girls that average is beautiful by bringing to life a more realistic-looking doll.
This figure, which is, like a superhuman figure. I mean, nobody looks like that in reality. If their child is suffering from poor self-esteem, and that's when they should choose the normal Barbie.
The doll has dark hair and more average proportions, giving young girls another option when playing with dolls.
The Sunnyside Unified School District offers a teenage parent program for teen moms. The hope is that offering parenting classes and daycare helps students stay on track in school. Coordinators say they have seen an increase in graduation rates since the district launched the program.
A teenager that doesn't have this kind of support, the easiest thing for that individual is just to quit because it's overwhelming. If they're out a lot, because of their pregnancy, then they have trouble catching up.
The on-campus infant daycare center provides its services to 70 students in the district.
Coming up, a luxury ride to the edge of space, but legal issues could keep travel grounded. The details coming up next.
El Independiente is a magazine serving South Tucson and the only bilingual periodical in the country that is produced by students.
They call Tombstone the town too tough to die, and for more than a century, the Tombstone epitaph has been part of the area's colorful history. U of A students have produced a local edition since 1975.
Arizona Cat's Eye is the University of Arizona School of Journalism news broadcast. We bring you student-produced stories from the university, Tucson, and Southern Arizona.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
On Arizona Cat's Eye. Welcome to Arizona Cat's Eye. I'm Max Everett.
And I'm Christy Smith.
Commercial space travel may seem like science fiction, but by 2016, you might be able to hitch a ride to the stratosphere from right here in Arizona. Arizona Cat's Eye reporter Sammy Jo Roth is here with us with more details. Sammy Jo?
Max, space tourism could soon be a reality, but first lawmakers in the state need to pass House Bill 2163. Without the bill, space travel firms can't get insurance, and that means one local startup may have to leave Arizona and do business elsewhere.
It's the talk of the town. A local startup is launching what some call an out-of-this-world experience.
I've always wanted to see Earth from space, so I think that'd be pretty cool.
I like space, but not that much. To be up there would be something that I would love to do.
Space development company Paragon, based right here in Tucson, is developing a high-altitude balloon ride to the edge of space, and it'll set you back $75,000.
It's its own world, that's for sure.
CEO and co-founder Tabor McCallum says liftoff could start as early as 2016.
High-altitude ballooning really popped out as the way to take people to the edge of space to see the curvature of the Earth, the stars in the black sky.
McCallum says the company has started selling tickets.
People are very excited about the prospects of flying, and especially at a Page.
I'm here in Paragon's lab where they're running some tests in preparation for their first balloon launch. But that all can't happen unless this bill is signed into law.
HB 2163 would let companies like Paragon limit their liability by having customers sign a waiver before the ride. Primary sponsor Representative Ethan Orr says without the bill, Paragon cannot operate in the state.
It's impossible for these companies to get any sort of liability insurance because there is no law. And so Texas and New Mexico have already passed similar laws that allow commercial space flight, and I want to make sure that Arizona doesn't miss that boat.
The bill passed in the State House with an overwhelming yes. It is now out of committee in the Senate and must come to a full vote.
I just need the Senate President to schedule it for a hearing.
If it passes, Paragon has plans to launch 50 flights from northern Arizona in their first year.
HB 2163 passed in the Senate. It was signed into law by Governor Jan Brewer in late April. For Arizona Cat's Eye, I'm Sammy Jo Roth.
Patton's Birder Haven is a prime destination for birdwatchers from all over the world. Arizona Cat's Eye reporter Kathy Rosenberg takes us to Patagonia, where 30,000 people visit each year to see the birds.
Wally and Marion Patton first invited birdwatchers into their backyard after they saw people with binoculars looking in. When the Pattons died, there was no plan for the future of the Birders' Haven.
It became internationally known because of particularly one species, and it's really the only place in the United States that you can reliably see the violet-crowned hummingbird.
Tucson Audubon Society has now become the new owner of the bird sanctuary. Pattons will continue as a backyard birdwatchers mecca where hummingbirds are the main attraction.
It's important to preserve the Patton property because of the birds they're used to getting food here, especially during the migration.
It's all about birds and people because birds need people to be their ambassadors. To have anybody who can speak up for birds and for other species of wildlife is very important.
Birdwatchers from New Zealand, Europe, Canada, Mexico, and just about all the 50 states come to Patton's to see the 15 species of hummingbirds, along with other birds, too.
This is a special place. There's a lot of birds here you wouldn't see if you didn't have places like this to go to.
For as long as the birds show up and the people want to watch them, Patton's will remain a cozy place to sit comfortably and watch the birds. For Arizona Cat's Eye, I'm Kathy Rosenberg.
Band Perry, Miranda Lambert, and Jason Aldean are just a few musicians that drew record crowds at a country music festival right here in southern Arizona.
Transforming sidewalks into canvases, the details coming up next.
3, 2, 1.
Senate Bill 1062 shifted the country's attention to the state of Arizona. The settling team says drivers should treat... Thanks, Jacqueline. This story is getting a lot of attention. They didn't want to raise the cost to provide the bus.
Must be between the ages of 18 and 26. You must self-identify with your Jewish faith. Country music fans loaded up their trucks and hit the road for another year at the Country Thunder Music Festival. Arizona Cat's Eye reporter Andrea Caviglia takes us to Florence.
The 22nd Annual Country Thunder Music Festival expects 30,000 fans a day over the 4-day event to see 21 country music artists like Miranda Lambert and Jason Aldean.
The biggest attraction, aside from talent, is the camping experience. People spend their hard-earned money and vacation time with us here every year, and they renew those sites year after year.
Festival goers lucky enough to have one of the 5,600 sold-out campsites kick up their cowboy boots and party until the sun comes up on over 280 acres.
I love country music. I love camping. I love grilling. It's just kind of like putting life on hold and just living.
Vendors say Country Thunder is a unique experience because they get to spend time out in the camps with their customers.
Getting that face-to-face interaction is really important to us. Personally, it's been a lot of fun too. I mean, we're working long hours in the booth, so we're not getting to take part in those awesome parties. But we've seen them, and we've, kind of partaken from afar.
Partygoers are ready to renew their camp spaces for next year and are excited to see the new lineup in December. For Arizona Cat's Eye, I'm Andrea Caviglia.
The Cooper Center for Environmental Learning is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Located in the Tucson Mountains, Camp Cooper offers hands-on learning for students who camp out overnight in the Sonoran Desert. The camp is managed by a partnership between the Tucson Unified School District and the U of A's College of Education. The field trip teaches kids about animals and plants in the Sonoran Desert. Camp Cooper has served over 130,000 children in the last 50 years.
Most families who have lost a loved one in the line of duty get some type of financial support. But what about Border Patrol agents? Arizona Cat's Eye reporter Allie Myers was at Sam Lena Park, where wives of Border Patrol agents organized a fundraiser, remembering and honoring the fallen.
The Tucson community came out to show their support for the second annual Tucson Border Patrol Memorial 5K race. You could run, walk, or ruck and carry a backpack weighing about 38 pounds to simulate what agents have as their gear. Border Patrol wives Kelly Meshire and Holly Schatt started the race to give back to the Border Patrol community and remember fallen agents.
There wasn't anything for the Border Patrol community, so after talking about it for some time, we decided that we were just gonna do it.
James and Kyle with the Borstar unit, a specialized rescue squad, ran the entire race carrying a dummy symbolizing fallen agents. They say they appreciate the support.
Shows a lot of camaraderie within the patrol.
The wives say that last year they raised over $16,000 for families who have lost loved ones. Meshire says this year the money will go toward the National Border Patrol Foundation and specifically back into the Tucson Border Patrol sector, which includes southern Arizona.
The Border Patrol Foundation has agreed to funnel the contribution that we give them back into our community. So they've earmarked the funds to go back into Border Patrol families in need.
Sean Mendoza, who came in first place, says he will continue to look forward to the race every year.
I'm definitely going to keep back and keep going and hope to get the same result every year.
The wives say they're looking forward to many more years to come and to have the opportunity to remember the 119 agents that have been lost in the line of duty. For Arizona Cat's Eye, I'm Allie Myers.
More than 4,000 people visited Park Place Mall to help transform the sidewalks into works of art. I saw how artists are expressing their creativity with chalk. Chalk is messy and colorful. It's not every day you see a normal sidewalk become a beautiful work of art. Artists from all around Arizona applied for the festival to show off their work. Martha Martin, who's a first-time artist in the festival, started out as a bead artist in Tucson.
I think it fills everyone's hearts with joy to see something bright and cheerful as this.
Artists already have a picture in mind of what they will draw for the festival. People throughout the community come together to express their creativity through chalk. In a couple areas of the festival is the Kids Zone, where children can join in by getting their faces painted and create a chalk drawing. The Kids Zone sidewalk is sectioned off in the shape of puzzle pieces so that children have their own space to draw. Samantha Franklin took her time creating a drawing that had a quote from her favorite movie, Frozen.
Follow your dreams and you don't need a prince to save you.
Samantha says this event is a time where you can express yourself, your feelings, and do whatever you want in your drawing. Some artists are not used to using chalk. Artists like Martha is familiar with beadwork, hand-cut tiles, watercolor, and metal work.
I like the movement of it, and I can get precise with watercolor pencils.
The artwork is featured for 2 days before it is power washed back to the same old typical sidewalk. That's the latest edition of Arizona Cat's Eye, a University of Arizona School of Journalism news magazine.
For all of our stories and more, check out our website at azcatseye.com. From everyone on the Arizona Cat's Eye news team,
thank you for joining us.
Lucy Boulevard.